Hello students, in the previous class we discussed the concepts related to the rectangular hyperbola and asymptotes of the hyperbola. Also we discussed the some of the problems related to the concepts which are rectangular hyperbola and asymptotes of the hyperbola. They are very interesting. Today also we continue the properties as well as the some of the problems related to the rectangular hyperbola and asymptotes of the hyperbola. So now let us see this problem. This is the question. It is also very interesting. From the point P1, 2, two tangents are drawn to the hyperbola H, in which one tangent is drawn to each arm of the hyperbola. If the equation of the asymptotes of the hyperbola are like this, then the eccentricity of the hyperbola is what? This is the question. So, from external point we can draw two tangents from that point to the hyperbola. This is the point 1, 2 which is external to the hyperbola. Two tangents are drawn from that point to the hyperbola. And the given condition is two tangents are drawn to two arms respectively. That is, suppose this is the coordinate axis, this is the hyperbola, this is your point P 1, 2. Now two tangents are drawn from that point to the hyperbola like that. Now what they are asking, what they are given again, root 3x plus y plus 5 equal to 0, root 3x minus y plus minus 1 equal to 0 are the asymptotes of that hyperbola. Now, these are the asymptotes of hyperbola. Say, asymptotes are always passing through center of the hyperbola. Now, it is rough diagram. These are not coordinate axes. These are the axes of the hyperbola. This is one of the asymptote and this one is the another asymptote. Now your point must and should be 1, 2 is in this region because two tangents are drawn from that point to the hyperbola respected by two arms. Suppose your point is in this region, two tangents are drawn to the same arm. Suppose this is the point here itself, two tangents are drawn in this manner. So two tangents can be drawn to the same arm. Now two tangents are drawn to the hyperbola of two arms in this manner. Your point may be in the region or in this region. So your point 1, 2 is here, that is in this region. Now this is the angle theta. If you find this exact angle, whatever it may be, either this one is acute angle or obtuse angle, you have to find out perfect this angle. Once if you have this angle, we can write the eccentricity by theta is equals to 2 secant inverse E. This is the relation between the theta, which is angle between the asymptotes and eccentricity. From that we can easily find the eccentricity by secant theta by 2, that is equals to E. So we have to find out the exact angle between these two asymptotes at this position. So suppose two lines intersect in this manner, we have two angles. One is acute angle, other one is the obtuse angle. We have to find out exact this angle. Whatever it may be, this may be acute angle or obtuse angle. Once if you find this exact angle, we can find the eccentricity. Because if it is 60 degrees, you have one type of eccentricity. If it is 120 degrees, you have another type of the eccentricity. So your aim is you have to find the exact angle at this position between these two lines, not this angle. You have to find out this angle. Then only you get the correct answer. Okay. For that, first of all, I write the equations such that their constants are positive. So what are they? Root 3x minus y plus 5 equal to 0. It has constant positive and we make this constant as also positive. Root 3x minus y plus 1 is equals to 0. Plus 1 equal to 0. Now this is the angular bisector of the asymptotes. This is another angular bisector of the asymptote. Now we have to find out the angle between these two. Either may be acute angle or obtuse angle. Remember, now here both constants are positive here. Now we find A1 A2 plus B1 B2. A1 A2 plus B1 B2 is what? Minus 3 plus 1, that is equals to minus 2 less than 0. A1 A2 plus B1 B2 less than 0 and C1 C2 are positive. At that time we have acute angular bisector or obtuse angular bisector. This is the acute angular, this is the acute angle, and this bisector is the acute angular bisector. Because acute angular bisector contains the origin, that is the concept. So A1 A2 plus B1 B2 greater than 0 and C1 greater than 0, C2 greater than 0. At this time, acute angular bisector contains origin. Now our bisector contains the origin or not, let us check. This is the point 1 comma 2. Our origin is like that. This is the origin. This is 1 comma 2. Now when you substitute the point in the first equation, we have positive. 5 is positive. 5 greater than 0. And substitute 1 comma 2 here. Root 3 minus 2 plus 5. This is also positive. So both are same side to the line L1. Suppose this is L1. Both the points are same side. This is origin. This is the point 1 comma 2. Same side of the line L1. In this manner say. Again substitute in the second line itself. By substituting 0 0 you have the positive. 1 is greater than 0. Substitute 1 comma 2. What happened? Minus root 3 and minus 2 plus 1. This is negative. So this is positive, this is negative. Therefore both the points lies outside to the opposite side to this line. That means your line may be like that. Therefore the origin and 1 comma 2 are in the different regions. So origin is in this region and your 1 comma 2 is in this region. So your 1 comma 2 is in this region, the origin may be in this region. Understand? So what do you think about that? Your angular bisector, this is the axis of the hyperbola, contains the origin. Contains the origin. So the angular bisector, that is the axis of the hyperbola, which is passing through the region that contains origin. That contains the origin. So this is your bisector that contains the origin. From that you have to conclude this is the acute angular bisector, because A1 A2 plus B1 B2 less than 0 and C1 C2 greater than 0. At that time this bisector is acute angular bisector and contains this origin. This is acute angular bisector. That means this angle is what? Acute. Your angle is acute angle. Now from that information itself we catch that this angle is acute angle. So we have to find out the acute angle between the asymptotes, and from that you have to evaluate the eccentricity. In the same manner, suppose A1 A2 plus B1 B2 is greater than 0 for this problem, then this line becomes obtuse angular bisector. So the corresponding angle becomes obtuse. You have to find out the eccentricity by using the obtuse angle. Now for this problem we have to use the acute angle. Okay, don't forget these things. Now so that is the acute angular bisector. Now we have to find out the acute angle between these two lines. It is very easy. From here itself the problem is very easy for you. The identification is very important here. Now what is the slope here? M1 is equals to root 3 and M2 is equals to that is root 3 here, minus root 3 by root 3. This is what first equation is, root 3x minus y plus 1, minus x coefficient by y coefficient, that is root 3 minus x coefficient by y coefficient, that is minus of minus plus root 3 by minus 1, that is minus root 3. So tan theta is equals to what? Acute angle you have to find out, m1 minus m2, 2 root 3, m1 minus m2 by 1 plus m1 m2. You have minus 3. That is nothing but 2 root 3 by, that is minus 2. So that is root 3. So tan theta is equals to root 3 implies you have theta is equals to 60 degrees. So tan theta by 2 secant, you have the formula 2 secant inverse E is equals to theta. Secant inverse E is equals to theta by 2. So theta by 2 we mean 60 by 2, that is 30 degrees. So eccentricity E is equals to secant 30 degrees, that is nothing but 2 by root 3. Therefore the eccentricity of the hyperbola is 2 by root 3. If you take it as 120 degrees, your eccentricity becomes 2. That is wrong. So in this manner, we have to identify this angle is acute or obtuse. That is very, very important here. So where the branch is there, the corresponding angle you have to pick up. The corresponding angle is how to pick up. This the result 2 secant inverse E is theta, defined for when that angle between these two. Here angle is theta. That is theta. Then only we can find the result, that is 2 secant inverse E is equals to theta. So eccentricity of the hyperbola is 2 by root 3 for this question. So you have to identify this angle very, very particularly, whether it is acute angle or obtuse angle. For that, what you have to do, you make the constants first of all positive, and then you check the value a1 a2 plus b1 b2 value. If it is positive, it is obtuse angular bisector. If it is negative, that is acute angular bisector. That means the corresponding angle is acute. So in this problem, a1 a2 plus b1 b2 is less than 0 here. Therefore this is the angle which is related to acute angular bisector. Why it is a acute angular bisector? This is the origin. Acute angular bisector contains the origin. When a1 a2 plus b1 b2 less than 0, the acute angular bisector contains the origin. Again, we have to check the origin and 1 comma 2. Origin and 1 comma 2, these two are in the different regions. And first of all, this is the point 1 comma 2 which is in the region. By observe that, suppose the point is here, two tangents are drawn from that point to the hyperbola. Now, these two tangents are drawn to the two of the branches, then immediately we conclude that the point is either in this region or in this region. That is also one important thing you have to remember. So by remembering all these concepts, you can easily do this one. Without these concepts, you can't move. So if you have no idea about these angular bisectors, you have two types of the eccentricities. For a single hyperbola, there is no two types of the eccentricities. If the hyperbola is fixed, the eccentricity is fixed. So for this problem, the eccentricity is 2 by root 3, my dears. Okay. Now, the asymptotes of the hyperbola xy is equal to hx plus ky are what? This is the next question. You have to find out the asymptotes of the hyperbola xy is equal to hx plus ky. What is your equation? Xy minus hx minus ky is equal to 0. This is the hyperbola equation. We are going to find out the asymptotes equation. The combined equation of asymptotes of the hyperbola and hyperbola are only differ by constant. So we need to express this in the product of two linears. Your job is over. So just by looking itself, we can manage this one. X into y minus h minus k times of, if you write y minus h, is there any problem? The difference will be happened. Okay, the difference must and should be happened. What is the difference here? Plus kh is extra, we are adding, no problem. This is the hyperbola. Now if you write If you write in this manner, this can be expressed in the product of the two linear factors. Therefore, we can take the asymptotes as x minus k into y minus h is equal to 0. That's all. These are the asymptotes. X minus k equal to 0, y minus h is equals to 0. These are the equations of the asymptotes of hyperbola. Just by looking the equation of hyperbola itself, we can crack the asymptotes. Suppose this type of idea is not arised by you, you can write in this manner also. Now, you don't know about splitting in this manner. Suppose this idea is not happen in your mind, you can write the general procedure also. What is that procedure? All of you know that the combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and hyperbola are differ by constant. So your asymptotes are of the form, combined equation is of the form xy minus hx minus ky plus some lambda is equals to 0. This is the combined equation of the asymptotes of the hyperbola. We know that asymptotes are always passing through center of the hyperbola. So to find the center, just partial differentiate with respect to x, we get y minus h is equals to 0. Therefore, y is equal to h. Partial derivative with respect to y, you have x minus k is equal to 0. You have x equal to k. So, center is k comma h. Substitute here kh minus h into k, hk minus kh plus lambda is equal to 0. hk, one hk gets cancelled, your lambda is equal to hk. You just substitute lambda here itself, we get xy minus hx minus ky plus hk is equals to 0. Now this is the combined equation of the asymptotes of hyperbola. You make common x into y minus h minus k into y minus h equal to 0, or x minus k into y minus h is equals to 0. This is the entire procedure to find the evaluation of the asymptotes of the given hyperbola. So the one and only thing behind this problem is the combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and equation of hyperbola are only differ by constant. By looking the equation itself, you can factorize by adding some constant. You get the asymptotes, or if you want to do the original process, you can do. So these are the methods to find the asymptotes from the given equation of the hyperbola itself. Understand? Next one, the asymptotes of the hyperbola x square by a square minus y square by b square is equal to 1 from with any tangent of the hyperbola, the triangle whose area is a square tan lambda in magnitude, then its eccentricity is what? This is the question. The asymptotes of the hyperbola x square by a square minus y square by b square equal to 1 from with any tangent to the hyperbola, a triangle whose area is a square tan lambda in magnitude, then its eccentricity is what they are asking. Understand? So all of you know that the area of the triangle formed by the asymptotes with any tangent is AB. Let us do the special case. Suppose consider this is the tangent at the vertex. These are the asymptotes. This is the first asymptote. This is the second asymptote. Already we proved in general method also. This is the triangle. Now what is its equation? X equal to A. What is the asymptote? Y equal to B by AX. Substitute x equal to A here, y equal to B. So this is the point A comma B. Understand? So what is the distance from here to here? A. The distance from here to here is B. So what is the area of triangle? Half AB. The curve is symmetric, therefore half AB into 2 times, this is AB. Therefore, area of the triangle formed by the asymptotes of the hyperbola with any tangent is AB square units. What is that? AB is equals to A square tan lambda. This is numerically. Now, AA gets cancelled. You have tan lambda is equals to B by A. From this relation itself, you have to crack the eccentricity of the hyperbola. How to obtain the eccentricity? Just by squaring. We have tan square lambda is equal to b square by a square. All of you know that b square by a square is nothing but e square minus 1. This is e square minus 1. From that, e square is equals to 1 plus tan square lambda. 1 plus tan square lambda we mean secant square lambda. Therefore, eccentricity of the hyperbola is secant lambda. Because eccentricity is always positive, so you take in the positive sense. E is equals to modulus of secant lambda. So suppose the angle is whatever it may be, eccentricity is mod secant lambda is the eccentricity. So you have to remember that the area of the triangle formed by the asymptotes with any tangent is A into B. That is the length of the semi-transverse axis into length of the semi-conjugate axis. You just equate that AB to your A square tan lambda. You can easily crack this eccentricity by secant lambda. So eccentricity is always positive. That is a modulus of secant lambda. It is always more than 1. Understand? Okay. So your eccentricity is mod secant lambda. Next question. The center of the rectangular hyperbola lies on the line y is equal to 2x. And one of the asymptote is y is equals to x, say. One of the asymptote is y equal to x. Both are not same. So a small correction is there. This is y is equal to x. The center of rectangular hyperbola lies on y is equal to 2x. And one of the asymptote is y is equals to x. Then the equation of hyperbola, given that it is passing through 3, 4 is what? You have to find out the equation of the hyperbola that is passing through 3, 4. So this is also the problem related to the concept asymptotes. So from that concept, let us draw the rough diagram. Your center lies on the line y is equals to 2x. Suppose this is rough diagram, say y is equal to 2x is the line. Actually y equal to x is the line passing through origin that having slope 2. For rough diagram I are taking in this manner. This is the hyperbola. Understand? And y is equal to x is the one of the asymptote. This is y equal to x. This is the y equal to x is the one of the asymptote. Your center lies on this much and asymptotes are always passing through center of the hyperbola. So their point of intersection must and should be the center. Center lies on y is equal to 2x. And y equal to x is the one of the what? Asymptote. Then once if you find the other asymptote, this is the another asymptote, you can find their combined equation, and the combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and hyperbola are differ by constant. From that concept, you can get the equation of the hyperbola. That is the idea. So your question becomes, you have to find out the another asymptote. This is the another asymptote. You have to find out that one. How to find out this one? All of you know that the axes are the angular bisectors of the asymptotes. The axes are the angular bisectors of the asymptotes. By solving these two equations, we obtain origin is the center of the hyperbola. Origin is the center of the hyperbola. We have to find out the line equation. Just once if you have any point on this line, you can easily write the angular bisector. For that, what you have to do, you take any point on this asymptote and find the image of that point with respect to this line y is equal to 2x. Suppose this is the point x1 comma y1, then you can write the image. For that, y is equal to the center of the center of a rectangular hyperbola lies on that line y is equal to 2x, and one of the asymptote is given to you y equal to x. This is the y equal to x. We have to find out the image for that one. So once if you have the image on that line, you have this point. From that you can write the equation and you can find out the combined equation of the asymptotes and differ by constant and substitute 3, 4, we obtain that one. So if you take any point we mean x1, y1 or say 1, 1. 1, 1 is always lies on y is equal to x. You may take 2, 2, whatever it may be, both coordinates are equal. So you just find the image of 1 comma 1 with respect to 2x minus y is equals to 0. This is the line 2x minus y equal to 0. This is the point 1 comma 1. So h minus x1 by 2 is equals to k minus y1 by minus 1 is equal to minus 2 times of ax1, that is 1 into 2, 2, 1 into minus 1, that is minus 1, plus c is 0 by a square plus b square, 4 plus 1. So h minus x1 by a equal to k minus y1 by b equal to minus 2 times of ax1 plus by1 plus c by a square plus b square. This is nothing but minus 2 by 5. So h minus 1 by 2 is equal to k minus 1 by minus 1 equal to minus 2 by 5. So h is equals to minus 4 by 5 plus 1. This is nothing but 1 by 5. And k minus 1 is equals to 2 by 5. K is equals to 1 plus 2 by 5. That is 7 by 5. So your image is 1 by 5 comma 7 by 5. Is it clear? With the help of this 1 by 5 comma 7 by 5 and 0 0, you can write the equation. What is the slope here? M is equals to 7 by 5 minus 0 by 1 by 5 minus 0, that is equals to 7 by 5 by 1 by 5, you have 7. So slope of this line is 7 units, 7. Once if you have the slope and point, your equation is y is equal to 7x. So already one equation is there, y is equal to x is the one asymptote, y equal to 7x is the another asymptote. From these two equations we can write their combined equation. Y minus 7x into y minus x is equal to 0 is there. Now the combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and equation of hyperbola are differ by constant. Y minus 7x into y minus x plus lambda is equals to 0. You just substitute the point 3 comma 4 and you get the value of lambda. Hence you can write the equation of the asymptote, you can write the equation of the hyperbola. So from one asymptote is given to you, your intention is to find out the another asymptote. Your intention is you have to find out the another asymptote. So axes are the angular bisectors of the asymptotes. That is the concept involved here. So y equal to x is one of the asymptote. You take any point on that one, 1 comma 1 or whatever it may be, 2 comma 2. You find the image of that point with respect to your line. Y is equal to 2x is there, that is 2x minus y equal to 0. This is your point x1 comma y1. This is a equal to 2, b is equal to minus 1, c equal to 0. From that you have to find out the image h minus x1 by a equal to k minus y1 by b is equals to minus 2 times of ax1 plus by1 plus c0 by a square plus b square. From that you can calculate the image, and once if you have this point on the line, you can write the equation of the line joining of 0 0 and 1 by 5 comma 7 by 5. After getting the line equation, combined equation of the asymptotes must and should be found. After that, the combined equation of asymptotes of hyperbola and equation of hyperbola are differ by constant. With that help of the logic, you can write the equation of the hyperbola form, and you can find the value of lambda by just substituting 3 comma 4 here itself. We obtain lambda, substitute lambda here, again we obtain the required equation of the hyperbola. So this is the logic behind this problem. Okay. Next one, this is the question. X minus 1 into y minus 2 is equal to 5 and x minus 1 whole square plus y plus 2 whole square equal to r square intersect at 4 points A, B, C, D. Intersected the 4 points A, B, C, D. If the centroid of the triangle ABC lies on the line y is equal to 3x minus 4, then the locus of D is what? This is the question. It is also a wonderful question to you. X minus 1 into y minus 2 equal to 5. This is rectangular hyperbola, center at 1 comma 2. X minus 1 into y minus 2 is equal to 5. It is the rectangular hyperbola, center at 1 comma 2. What is the another curve? This is the another curve. X minus 1 whole square plus y plus 2 whole square is equals to r square. Its center is 1 comma minus 2. So both the centers are different. This is C1 This is C2 intersected the 4 points. So let us try to draw the rough diagram. This is your rectangular hyperbola, center at 1, 2. This is a 1, 2 center. This is the rectangular hyperbola. What is the center of the circle? 1, -2 is the center of the circle. This is the center which is in the what quadrant? 4th quadrant. This is the 4th quadrant, center is there. So your circle may be in this manner. Understand? Center is 1, 2. So the circle and rectangular hyperbola intersected these 4 concyclic points. Now ABC is the triangle, say. This is the A, B and C, say. This is the triangle ABC. Understand? Now AB centroid of the triangle lies on y is equal to 3x minus 4. We have to find out the locus of this point D. We have to find out the locus of that point D. We have to find out. Because why this is varying, why D is varying, why the points are varying, here the radius is unknown. X minus 1 whole square plus y plus 2 whole square equal to r square. So when r is varying, your circle is varying, their points of intersections are varying. Centroid of the triangle ABC is also varying. From that, D is also varying. You have to find out the locus of D. This is the experiment. In this experiment, the one and only logic behind this problem is, I am telling to you, the mean of these 4 points, mean proportion of these 4 points is equal to the midpoint of their centers. So this is the center of the rectangular hyperbola. This is the center of the circle C2. So the midpoint of C1, C2 is nothing but the mean of the 4 points of intersections. Mean of the 4 points of the intersections. That means suppose their points of intersections are xi comma yi for I runs from 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you have sigma xi by 4 comma sigma yi by 4 is equals to midpoint of their centers. 1 plus 1 by 2, that is 1. 2 minus 2, 0 by 2, that is 0. This is the thing here. Now sigma xi is equals to 4 and sigma yi is equals to 0. Now sigma xi means what? x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4. You take that x4 to right side, you have 4 minus x4. Similarly, y1 plus y2 plus y3 is equals to 0 minus y4. So centroid of the 3 points ABC is what? By 3. This is by 3, by 3, by 3. Now your centroid is what? 4 minus x4 by 3, comma, minus y4 by 3. This is the point, lies on what? Y is equal to 3x minus 4. They are given to you. You just substitute y by minus y4 by 3 is equals to 3x minus 4. 3 times of x means 4 minus x4 by 3 minus 4 is there. So minus 3 plus 3 3 gets cancelled. 4 minus x4 minus 4. Minus 4 plus 4 gets cancelled. So minus y4 by 3 is there. So again cancel out the minus. Y4 is equals to 3 times of x4. You can write the locus of x4 by 4, that is the 4th vertex D. Locus of D is y is equals to 3x. This is the answer. Therefore, your locus is a straight line that is passing through origin having slope 3 units. So in this problem, the one and only logic behind this one is the average of the points, the mean proportion of the 4 points is equal to the midpoint of the centers of the 2 conics. That is, one is a circle and other one is the hyperbola. So here the conic in the sense rectangular hyperbola, the circle is like that. These 4 points are concyclic. So suppose a hyperbola is intersected by a circle, there exist 4 points of intersections. You find their mean proportion. That means x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 by 4, comma, y1 plus y2 plus y3 plus y4 by 4. Mean of the abscissa as well as the ordinates point is equal to midpoint of the centers. Already we proved this concept in the previous class. So from that you calculate the coordinates of the centroid, that is x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 as 4 minus x4 by 3, y1 plus y2 plus y3 by 3 as 0 minus y4 by 3. We have the centroid, that is, this is the centroid. It lies on what they are given to you, y is equal to 3x minus 4. On substituting that centroid, we have the condition on x4 by 4. You can write the locus for x4 by 4, that is the fourth vertex B. That is fourth point of intersection with the circle and your rectangular hyperbola. Understand? So your locus is what here? Y is equals to 3x. This is the next concept. The orthocenter of the triangle formed by any 3 points on xy equal to c square again lies on xy is equal to c square. Very interesting result. You take any 3 points on the rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square, then its orthocenter again lies on the rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square. So let us draw the rough diagram. This is your rectangular hyperbola. Take any 3 points on this rectangular hyperbola. Suppose these are the 3 points. Form a triangle. You have in this manner. For this triangle, you find the orthocenter. These are the vertices of the triangle, say ABC. If you find its orthocenter, again it lies on what? Again it lies on the rectangular hyperbola, because suppose this is one of the altitude, you draw the another altitude, their point of intersection again on the hyperbola. This is the hyperbola. You can draw the another altitude, third altitude also in this manner. That is your orthocenter. You have to prove that your orthocenter lies again on your rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. How to prove this one? So xy is equals to c square. Consider the 3 points. A is equals to ct comma c by t1, ct1 comma c by t1, and b is equals to ct2 comma c by t2, c is equals to ct3 comma c by t3. So these are the coordinates of the vertices of the triangle. We have to find out the altitudes. The point of concurrence of altitudes is nothing but your orthocenter. So what is the slope of AB? Slope of AB is equal to minus 2 by T1 T2. Already we proved. C by T2 minus C by T1 by CT2 minus CT1. That is equal to C, take common, T1 minus T2 by T1 T2 by C times of T2 minus T1. CC gets cancelled, this cancel out, minus 1 times minus 1 by T1 T2. Minus 1 by T1 T2. Therefore, this is the slope of AB. Can you find slope of CD or not? That is altitude. Slope of CD is equals to T1 T2. Because the lines are perpendicular, their product of slopes is equal to minus 1. You have the coordinates of C, that is CT3 comma C by T3. And point and slope, you know, you can write the altitude by y minus c by t3 is equals to, what is the slope? T1 T2 times of x minus ct3. This is the altitude. Similarly, we can write one more altitude, y minus c by t2 is equals to, here is t3, you have t1 t2, here is t2, you have t1 t3 times of x minus ct2. This is the another altitude. So by solving these two altitudes, we get orthocenter. We have to show that orthocenter lies on xy is equals to c square. Let us try to solve these two. Now just by subtracting these two equations, y gets cancelled. Now c times of 1 by t2 minus 1 by t1 is equals to t1 t2 into x, t1 t3 into x. You can common t1 into t2 minus t3 times of x. Again you have t1 t2 minus ct3, t1 t3 minus ct2. Both will be cancelled, that is plus 0 you have. Now C times of 1 by T2 minus 1 by T1, we mean C times of T1 minus T2 by T1 T2 is equals to T1 into T2 minus T3. This is 1 by T2 minus 1 by T3. Sorry, this is T3. T3 minus T2. T3 minus T2 by T2 T3. This is T3. This is T3 is equals to T1 times of T2 minus T3 into X. So T2 minus T3, T1 minus T3 cancel out by minus 1 times. You have X is equals to minus C by T1, T2, T3. This is the X coordinate. What is your X coordinate of the orthocenter? X is equal to minus C by T1, T2, T3. Substitute in any one of the altitude, we get the ordinate also. So now we are going to find out the ordinate of the orthocenter. Substitute X in this altitude. What is the altitude here? Here y minus C by T3 is equals to T1 T2 times of X minus C T3. What is your X coordinate? Minus C by T1 T2 T3. Y minus C by T3 is equal to T1 T2 times of minus C by T1 T2 T3 minus C T3. So Y minus C by T3 is equals to minus C by T3 minus C T1 T2 T3. Minus C by T3 minus C by T3 gets cancelled. We have the ordinate of the orthocenter is equal to minus C T1 T2 T3. Therefore, we have the orthocenter as is like this: minus C by T1 T2 T3 comma minus C T1 T2 T3. Is it lies on xy equal to C square or not? X into y is what? T1 T2 T3, T1 T2 T3 gets cancelled. Minus C into minus C, C square. Clearly, it is again on the hyperbola. So your orthocenter lies on the hyperbola xy is equal to C square. So if you take any 3 points on your rectangular hyperbola like that, immediately its orthocenter lies again on your rectangular hyperbola. Remember this point also, all of you. So orthocenter of the triangle formed by the any 3 points A of T1, B of T2, C of T3 is nothing but minus C by T1 T2 T3 comma minus C T1 T2 T3. This is the orthocenter. It is again on your rectangular hyperbola. Understand? This is very, very important result for you. What is that? Minus C by T1 T2 T3 comma minus C times of T1 T2 T3. Okay. With the help of this orthocenter, we can move for the other concept. See this one. If x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3 and s, x4, y4 are 4 consecutive points on rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square. So some circle intersects your rectangular hyperbola at 4 points. We have the 4 points. These 4 points are what? Concentric points on the rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square. Then the coordinates of the orthocenter of the triangle PQR is what? This is the question. So we use the formula related to the orthocenter of the triangle formed by the 3 points on rectangular hyperbola in this problem. That is why we proved that one. So very interesting question. There is a rectangular hyperbola, 4 points on it is there, and those 4 points are also concyclic. Moreover, the orthocenter of the triangle formed by the 3 points PQR is what in terms of the fourth point they are asking. In terms of the fourth point. Let us try to draw a rough diagram to this one. This is the rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square, and I am going to draw the circle. This is the circle. Intersect our rectangular hyperbola at 4 points. These 4 points are called concyclic points. These are say A, B, C, D. These are the 4 points. Now we have to find out the orthocenter of the triangle formed by the PQR. This is the triangle. They are given PQRS. Say this is P, this is Q, this is R, say, and this is the point S. Say. Orthocenter of triangle PQR. This is the triangle joining of the vertices PQR. You have to find out the orthocenter of the triangle in terms of the x4 by 4. Okay. My dears, suppose P is equal to x1 comma y1, that is equals to say ct1 comma c by t1, and Q is equal to x2 comma y2, say ct2 comma c by t2. R is equals to x3 comma y3, this is ct3 comma c by t3, and again S is equals to x4 comma y4, this is say ct4 comma c by t4. These are the 4 points. These are concyclic points on your rectangular hyperbola. Now what is the orthocenter of the triangle PQR? For triangle PQR, orthocenter is equal to, just we proved, minus c by t1 t2 t3 comma minus c t1 t2 t3, minus c by t1 t2 t3 comma minus c t1 t2 t3. This is your orthocenter. We know that CTI comma C by TI, irons from 1, 2, 3, 4 are concyclic points on your rectangular hyperbola xy equal to c square. We know the result. T1, T2, T3, T4 is equals to 1. In the previous class we proved that 1 by taking the 4th degree equation. So T1, T2, T3, T4 is 1. What about T4, my dears? 1 by T1, T2, T3. So replace T1, T2, T3 by 1 by T4. Again you have T1, T2, T3 is equals to 1 by T4. You just substitute the values here itself. Minus C into, what about 1 by T1, T2, T3? That is T4. Minus C T4, comma, minus C into T1, T2, T3, T4 is 1 by T4. So clearly, minus C T4, comma, minus C by T4. So what is this? Minus x4 comma minus y4, because ct4 comma c by t4 is nothing but x4 comma y4. Therefore the fourth coordinates are minus x4 comma minus y4. See the magic. This is the circle, intersects the rectangular hyperbola at 4 points PQ RS. Then the orthocenter of the triangle formed by the any 3 points is nothing but the minus of the fourth coordinates, fourth vertex of the fourth points of intersection. That is SA. If it is S is what? CT4 comma C by T4, then the orthocenter is minus CT4 comma minus C by T4. That's all. That is minus x4 comma minus y4. So orthocenter of the triangle formed by the 3 points is equals to minus x4 comma minus y4, where x4 y4 is the fourth point of intersection of the circle and your rectangular hyperbola. That is fourth concyclic point. Understand? So x1 y1, x2 y2, x3 y3, x4 y4 are there 4 points which are concyclic on your rectangular hyperbola. then orthocenter of the triangle formed by these first 3 points is minus x4 minus y4. If you want to find the orthocenter for this QRS, what is the orthocenter? Minus x1 minus y1. That is the relation. So one and only thing you have to observe, you have to remember the orthocenter formula and this technique T1, T2, T3, T4. This is from the concyclic concept, this is from the orthocenter concept. These two concepts are involved in this problem here. Okay. Next one, see this question. The chord PQ of rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to a square meets the axis of x at A. C is the midpoint of PQ. O is the origin. Then the triangle AOC is what? So they are asking the type of the triangle AOC. So here also one rectangular hyperbola is there, that is xy is equal to a square. Just there instead of c square they are giving a square, no problem. So let us try to draw the rough diagram to this one. This is your rectangular hyperbola, xy is equal to c square. This is the shape of the rectangular hyperbola. The chord PQ of the rectangular hyperbola meets the axis of x at A. Axis means what here? This is the asymptote. Axis at A. C is the midpoint. C is the midpoint of PQ. This is P. This is Q point. Say, I am writing the chord equation. I am writing the chord. This is the chord PQ meets the axis of x at A. This is A. C is midpoint of PQ. Your C is midpoint of PQ. This is C. Then the type of the triangle ACO. This is origin O. This is the triangle ACO. What is the type of the triangle they are asking? This is the question. So this is xy is equal to a square, rectangular hyperbola. This is the origin. Understand? Now this is x1 comma y1. This is the midpoint of chord PQ. Midpoint of your chord PQ. Can you write the equation or not? Its equation is what? S1 is equal to S11. That is x by x1 plus y by y1 is equal to 2. Already we proved this one as x by x1 plus y by y1 equal to 2. This is the equation of chord with midpoint x1 comma y1. So it meets x-axis. It meets x-axis, we mean put y is equals to 0. Put y equal to 0, we get x is equals to 2x1. This is the point 2x1 comma 0. Now this is origin. This is x1 comma y1. This is x1 comma y1. This is 0 0. This is 2x1 comma 0. Now what is OC distance? OC is nothing but root of x1 square plus y1 square. What about CA? CA is also square root of 2x1 minus x1. That is x1. x1 square minus x1 or x1. x1 square plus y1 square. So these two distances are equal. For this triangle, these two distances are equal. This is different. This is 2x1. So it is not a right angle triangle. It is not an equilateral triangle. Just these two sides are equal. Therefore, it is an isosceles triangle. Therefore, the triangle is your isosceles triangle. S1 is equal to S11. By writing S1 equal to S11, we get this equation. X by x1 plus y by y1 is equals to 2. Chord with midpoint equation is like that. So just by solving with x by x1 plus y by y1 is equal to 2 with y is equal to 0, that is your axis, x-axis. You have the point A as 2x1 comma 0. Immediately we have the result, that is the triangle is an isosceles triangle. How to write S1? This is xy is equal to c square. That is half of xy1 plus yx1 minus c square. This is for S1. S11 is what? S11 means this is S1. S11 means x1 y1 minus c square. What about S1 is equal to S11? Half of xy1 plus yx1 minus c square is equal to x1 y1 minus c square gets cancelled. So xy1 plus yx1 is equal to 2x1 y1. By dividing by x1 y1, you have x by x1 plus y by y1 equal to 2. This is the equation of chord with midpoint x1 y1 to the rectangular hyperbola xy is equal to c square. With the help of this equation, we can write the equation of line joining of x2 y2 and x3 y3. That chord equation is also already derived, that one. X by x2 plus x3 plus y by y2 plus y3 is equals to 1 is the equation of chord joining of x2 y2 and x3 y3 on your rectangular hyperbola xy is equals to c square. So in this manner we can crack this one. Finally the triangle is what? Isosceles triangle. So you just write the chord equation. Don't try to solve the 2 points by taking the parametric points or nothing else here. You just take this midpoint C, they are given to you. C is midpoint of PQ. If it is x1 comma y1, say, you write the equation, solve with x-axis. Immediately you get that point 2x1 comma 0. And this is origin. This is x1 comma y1. Just by finding the distances, you have OC is equal to CA. And it is different from OA. We have the triangle that is an isosceles triangle here. See this one, let C be the curve which is the locus of the point of intersection of lines. X is equal to 2 plus m and my is equal to 4 minus m. C is the curve that is the locus of the point of intersection of lines. Why we are obtaining locus? Here m is variable. Just by solving the two equations, by eliminating m itself, we obtain the required curve. That is no problem. That is the curve C. A circle is there that intersects the curve C at 4 points P, Q or S. Y is the center of the curve C. Then OP square plus OQ square plus OR square plus OS square is what they are asking. This is the question. First of all, we find the locus for that one. What is that? X is equal to 2 plus m. X equal to 2 plus m and second one is my is equal to 4 minus m. Now m times of y plus 1 is equals to 4. What is your m value? From here itself, m is equal to x minus 2. You write the m value here itself. X minus 2 into y plus 1 is equal to 4. This is a rectangular hyperbola whose center is at 2 comma minus 1. Understand? What is the center of the circle here also? 2 comma minus 1. So both curves have same center, that is at 2 comma minus 1. So this is also a rectangular hyperbola. Why it is rectangular hyperbola? It is of the form xy equal to c square form. So it is a rectangular hyperbola like that, whose asymptotes are x equal to 2 and y equal to minus 1. They are perpendicular to each other. In your rectangular hyperbola, asymptotes are always making an angle 90 degrees. This is the center here. 2 comma minus 1 is the center. And one circle intersects the rectangular hyperbola. This is the circle having same center 2 comma minus 1 at that points what? P, Q, R, S. This is P, Q, R, S. This is S. P, Q, R, S are the 4 points of the intersections. Then we have to find out OP square plus OQ square plus OR square plus OS square. What is O? Y is the center of the curve C. This is the curve C. Not origin. This is the center. Am I correct? Center of C is nothing but center of the circle. That is the simple thing you have to observe. Now, this is the thing. O is the center of the circle. These are you have to find out. Distances. What are these 4 distances? These are nothing but the radius of the circle. Am I correct or not? The distance from center to any point on the circumference of circle is nothing but your radius of the circle. So, both are OP, OQ, OR, OS are radius of the circle. Therefore, 4R square is your answer. 4 times of what is the radius of the circle? 5. 5 square means 25. 4 into 25, you have the 100. 100 is your answer. So, the problem is very simple, but in this problem one locus you have to evaluate, that is rectangular hyperbola. It is very simple for you just by eliminating m, that one, that is x minus 2 into y plus 1 is equals to 4. By eliminating m we obtain this rectangular hyperbola. Moreover, you observe that the center of the rectangular hyperbola is 2 comma minus 1 and center of the circle is also 2 comma minus 1. The situation will be arise in this manner, and given that y is the center of the curve C. Now this is the curve C. Center of C is what? That is 2 comma minus 1. This is coincide with the center of the circle. This is the simple thing you have to observe. Once if you think that one, the distances are nothing but the radii of the circle. Therefore, you have to find out the radius square, radius square, radius square, radius square. That is 4 radius square. 4 r square you have. Therefore, 4 into 25, that is the 100. 100 is your answer. Understand? So in this manner we can crack these problems. Okay, thank you very much.